you heard me mention in the break. Did you think it was funny what I said about it is kind of funny? And no disrespect meant to this guy at all, because I actually, totally respect him.
What'd you say about Shep now?
No. I've already talked bad about Shep tonight, thanks. But you did laugh when I brought it up. Should a 38-year-old guy be allowed to win X Games gold medals? Should a 38-year-old man, that it has probably an ex-wife, maybe some kids, you know what I mean? I know nothing about Bob Burnquist, okay? So, no, I swear to God, I'm not trying to disrespect him. Because anytime you can win anything at that age, God bless you, right? If you're an athlete and you're still winning medals, God bless you. If you're in the Olympics at 50 and you're winning gold medals, God bless you. But honestly, did you think it was funny when I said, because I was sitting here and I went, Can a 38-year-old be allowed to win an X Games gold medal?
Allowed
What
to?
was your reaction?
I got to say, that's anyone that's in the competition with him, you should be embarrassed. You're embarrassed. You're 20 years old. You lose to that, you should be embarrassed.
The second place guy is 15.
Yeah, you got to be embarrassed.
Okay, so
oh, come on now.
You know what I mean? So
was it the father-son podium?
No, but now listen to this. This gets even better. I'm just starting. This guy has 28 medals in X Games and 8 gold medals in X Games. I'm starting to feel like there's a little bit of a trend here where it sounds like this guy, that's all he has in his life is going to X Games and winning X Games medals. Is it do you get that feeling at all, Marco? If you have 28 medals at the X Games, what are you doing the rest of the year? You got to be busy if you got that many.
You said divorced a couple. He might be on his third marriage.
How do you have 28 medals? He's 38. When did he start? When he was 8?
Well, earlier that you could be like, oh, well, how can you have that many? It's now they have 5 of them a year, so it's not that hard to do anymore.
There's 5 a year?
It's something like that. It's at least 2 or 3 every year now. It's no longer one a year. It's like X Games LA, X Games, Barcelona, X Games, Brazil. They do them all the time. It's ridiculous. But just to tell you how long he's been doing it, because you asked.
Right.
I remember when I was playing the first Tony Hawk games, and Bob Burnquist was in it then. He was in those first Tony Hawk games. That's how long he's been doing it. And that's why he has 28 medals and only 8 of them are gold, because he was competing against Tony Hawk for all those years, and now he's finally got it so he can win gold. Now he can beat 15-year-olds.
The second place guy was 15.
Now listen to what but this gets even better.
The second place guy probably wasn't even born when he was getting medals in the start.
I know Bob because I did the Tony Hawk Stand Up for Skate Park event. I was the MC of it in Hollywood and in Vegas, right? So I hosted the thing for a year in Vegas and in Beverly Hills. And Bob was in it. He was a part of the event. It's Stand Up for Skate. They build skate parks in the hood all over the country for kids, right? So I know this guy for sure. I know him. And I'm not taking anything away from him. But when the headline reads, I just have to say this. This is what has got to make you wonder if it's time to call it a day. When the headline reads, Bob Burnquist conquered a field of youngsters. Way to go, Bob. You beat a bunch of kids that are 10. At some point when you're 35, should you stop doing things for kids between the ages of 14 and 22? Because I bet you there's not one kid over 22 except for Bob, who's now 12 years away from his AARP card, and he's still competing against little kids that have zits at the Big Air contest at the X Games. What does he do after the contest? Does he go out drinking, or does he go out and play Monopoly with all the kids? I mean, what do you think he should be competing?
I think the fact that he's double the age of most of his competition is a little sad. And like you mentioned, what is he going to do afterwards? They're going to go home and have milk with their parents. He can go out and get a beer by himself.
Right. Do you think Bob should, now that he's got 8 golds and 28 medals, he's got enough, or do you think he should come back next year?
I think he should end on a high note. End on the gold. You're done.
Do you think when a guy is in the Big Air competition and when you see him flying through the air, you can see that he's losing his hair and the rest of it, he's got a gray beard, that it's time to stop skateboarding?
I don't know. I want to see him on the platform kind of shove a kid aside as he goes to get his medal. Just kind of put his hand on his head. Get out of the way.
How about when all the little kids have to look up at the podium and Big Bob's there with his man breath and his gray beard taking the trophy and all the girls are kissing him and they're like, we're totally skeeved by Bob's gray beard. I guarantee you, I will bet my life that one kid got in his mom's minivan and said, this sucks. How does that guy still get allowed to be able to compete in this thing? Is he like...
Next game's Tokyo next week.
No, is he I can hear some kid right now. Bruh, listen, dude, isn't that dude like 50, man? I mean, are there rules for that? And, hey, speaking of sponsors, Bob, we just got Viagra to pick up a deal with you.
When you're not sponsored by Red Bull, but you are by Rogaine, it's time to quit X Games.
Hey, Bob, we've got Rogaine on the line and Viagra.